Good morning, NBA bettors all over the world. It's my guy knows a guy. It's Sosa the locksmith. It's NBA betting today. Another morning, man. It was great to have basketball back. Last night's second game got crazy. Sosa, it's the Bucks world still. It's still the Bucks world. How's it going? How you feel today?
It's easy money, man. It was easy money. Another day, another dollar. Bucks by 10. I told y'all. It's pretty easy. It was easy. It was easy. It was easy. Nice
That
little
was
easy
actually
night.
that was actually a no sweat bet.
None at all.
The Bucks they just powered through all the contrarian banner talk,
Best team in
rim
basketball.
talk, negligent. It's,
I don't know what people are watching, or I don't know what y'all. If you don't think they're the best team in basketball, then I don't know what you're watching. What are you watching?
I'm actually just
You're
gonna
not
tweet it
watching
out.
basketball.
What'd you see? What'd you see in Giannis last night? What you saw the hunger? We were talking
I
about the hunger
mean,
last night on our phone call.
I don't. I yeah, that and like that's it's no surprise. This guy only knows one way to play. He's not a You know what I mean? That's just what he does, bro. It's just he doesn't know any other way to play. He works. He got the work ethic. He puts the work in, no matter the situation, no matter how many wins, nothing. None of that matters to him. He wants to be legendary.
He wants to be legendary.
That's the
He was
difference.
named a part of the NBA 75. No surprises there, unless
Top
you
30 all
consider age a
time.
factor.
Top 30 all
You're on
time
record
already.
as saying
26
this.
years old. 26 years old. Think about this. Defensive player of the year, champion, finals MVP, league MVP. There's only three guys to have that. Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. To even be in a sentence with those two other players, he's top 30 already. Come on, man. Give him his flowers. Stop talking about it. Stop acting like he's not. He's one of them. He's one of them ones. And
I would have
whether
to
like
agree. He's top 30. He's top 30. The Bucks they powered through. They weathered the Drew Holiday injury as well. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We see you guys. Danny, good morning. Victor, Cameron, Alvin. We see you guys. Rory. We see everybody. Um, Last night was hectic, bro. It was hectic. The Nets. There's too much going on with the Nets right now. There's too much going on with the Nets, and the Bucks clearly have their number. They have continuity. Drew Holiday did go down early in that game. What are we hearing about Drew Holiday right now? Just going
he
forward,
came back. He played in the second half.
but with
Played a
pain
couple
and
minutes.
stuff after the game, he was a yeah.
Yeah, I think he's fine. But again, with anything that happens to him, this is the thing. When you have such a deep roster, you can your stars can sit out games. Your stars can miss games. Bro, again, I keep saying this, and I actually made this statement yesterday in one of my chats with the homies. Um, the Bucks are the Spurs 2.0. That's what we're about to see. I mean, we're looking at the numbers and domination of wins, the way they put up the last four seasons. It's right on par. It's almost identical to the Spurs teams that were winning with Tim Duncan. Almost identical. The Spurs team averaged about 3.5 more wins a game, but the team's built out just like a Spurs team does. The Spurs team, seven players that could probably start, and then you got 12 guys that are coming in and out of. That just come on, man. They're loaded. They're loaded.
They're loaded.
Call
They are very dangerous. I already knew this before yesterday. For me, it's something that I would do across sports. You see these trends with teams receiving their rings. They definitely proved that they are different. Shout out to everyone watching the show right now. If you guys can take a second, hit the like button. Follow Sosa the Locksmith on Twitter. He also has Daily Bread Media, his own YouTube channel, Daily Bread, going
outlet.
crazy every single day with Rex. Shout out to Rex. My guy knows a guy. Check me out on Twitter. Visit sportx.bet, the decentralized cryptocurrency exchange owned by the community. We are going to go through the games today. Yesterday with the props, we did throw out some stuff on the show. It actually went well. At the beginning of the season, you probably don't go all out. I'm sure Sosa as well. He's going to have a full props card as the season progresses. We did list Sosa smash the Brook Lopez over 1.5. I threw out that Kevin Durant over 2.5 threes. The Joe Harris, we had consensus on the Joe Harris over 2.5 threes. His was relatively easier than Kevin Durant's, but as we go forward, we have more of a sample size, more data. Yesterday, we also want to take a second to appreciate everyone that watched yesterday. It was absolutely amazing. The response was absolutely
Appreciate
amazing.
y'all.
Appreciate you guys. We're going up from here. Full slate today. Let's power through it. We're not going to stay here as long as yesterday. Yesterday was the pilot. You know, it was the pilot. We won't be here for an hour today. We're going to try to power through the key matchups, share our insights. One thing I do want to talk about as well, so just to wet our beak a bit, is the Damian Lillard situation just for a second. I know you have some thoughts on that as well. Dame did say last night, there's a quote coming out from reputable beat reporters that Damian Lillard is not going anywhere. He had a meeting with Chauncey Billups. Apparently it went very well about the vision and the future that they spelled out for the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but all the trade talks with Damian Lillard have been exhausted for now. What are your thoughts on this, Sosa? Big news, really, early season.
I think it's all hearsay for all those all the bullshit that came out earlier in the year, or like throughout the Olympics, like him having a tweet about it and all that. Listen, one thing we have to know or understand is the psychology that comes into play with this particular situation. Dame is the best player in the history of the franchise. The Portland Trail Blazers can at no point afford for this to get messy. He's the best player in the franchise. You never want it to be a situation where he asks out, right? So what he has to do is if he does want to get out of Portland, he can't ever express that publicly because the city will riot and it will become messy. Not good. And the organization can't afford that too because they can't afford a bad fallout with the best player in the history of the franchise. Right? I don't believe he wants to leave Portland. I don't believe he wants to leave Portland, but something that a lot of casual basketball fans neglect to see in regards to the Blazers last year is that CJ McCollum missed 25 games at the beginning of the year. And prior to him getting hurt, he was the leading scorer on the team. You lose a all-star caliber player that's getting paid a lot of money. I don't care how bad he is defensively. They're in a completely different situation playoff-wise. They're in a completely different situation win-wise. And everything changes. The whole trajectory of the team changes, especially if he never gets hurt. They have that continuity all year. That's a huge piece that was missing to start the year. And he never got right all season. He never got right.
All season.
He was never right. So, again, it's casual basketball fans. That matters. You take a guy who's getting paid $40 million out the equation for more than a third of the season. Because remember, there was only 72 games last year. We're talking 33% of the games. A guy you're relying on who was averaging 27 a game before he got hurt out of the lineup is huge. People have to take into context what they were missing last year. And the Blazer team not being as bad as I guess people are taking them in mentally, they're not as bad as we think. They're going to be right there in the playoff race, and they'll be fine. Like I don't see
business as usual for the Blazers.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. They didn't get worse.
Run of the mill playoff team.
Yeah, I mean Dame and CJ gonna have them in the playoffs.
Yeah, sneaky acquisition with Larry Nance Jr. as well. I mean, defensively. I think we had this conversation in the past that we can agree that Larry Nance Jr. is one of the players in the NBA that still has not been utilized properly, even though he's not necessarily potent on offense. I think Larry Nance has a great opportunity to help the Blazers. I mean, they can't get any worse, right? Defensively, especially on the perimeter, they can't get any worse. Dame, this vote of confidence in the franchise, I think that it obviously ownership was involved in this. People were really hesitant to bet on the Blazers, laying big points with them early portions of the season. But it's a narrative.
Hold on
they put it to the side.
Look at this comment.
What do you see?
Look at this comment by Chuck. Chuck, I love you, bro, but shut up. He's better than Clyde, bro. Stop it. Cut it out. I love Clyde, and he was amazing. But come on, man. Dame Lillard's the best player to ever put on a Trailblazers uniform. Stop it with that. He's the best player to ever touch the franchise. And if it gets ugly, it won't be a good look for that team.
I think even the Blazers fans have not unanimously, but they've recognized Dame as the best player in franchise history. I know Clyde took them to the finals, but like the longevity of what Dame's doing now, just with his scoring output, I think let's have another debate about that. Maybe we can have a debate about that. You never know. Join us on Twitter Spaces sometimes. Chuck, we see you, bro. Appreciate all the support. Sosa, let's get through the. Let's get into the schedule right now. We're gonna pull up the odds. Just want to remind everyone to. We're gonna update the contest. Yesterday had technical difficulties. I did not realize on YouTube that while you're a part of the live chat, you can't comment on the video while you're watching. So people weren't able to comment their handles. So we're gonna refresh the contest now, and we'll announce it right now during the show. We'll give out some bread, and it'll be easy, same thing as yesterday. And just apologies for the technical difficulty on that. We're going to go through the schedule right now. The first full slate. We already know Wednesdays and Fridays it pops off in the NBA. You know, first full slate. Let's get to it. So we'll power through it. NBA betting today. Hit the like button. Let's go. And pull up the odds. What's something that's catching your eye just before I pull up the odds? So what's catching your eye right now?
Favorite bet of the day is Jason Tatum over 4.5 assists. That's my favorite bet of the day.
Tatum.
I put my money where my mouth is. It's over 4.5 at plus 122. Jason Tatum's a Twitter guy. He just don't. He has more burner accounts than KD. He just don't come out and talk about it. I like over 4.5 assists plus money. Yeah. Jason Tatum done heard it all year. You need a point guard. You can't play make. You can't. Here's your moment. Here's your time. Go get 5 assists for your team. Plus, it's going to be like plus 125, somewhere along there. That's my favorite prop bet of the night.
Jason Tatum 4.5 assists instantly.
Over 4.5 assists.
Social the locks.
Either make me a believer, or Ime Udoka is you're gonna make me mad as shit for the whole season.
Well, Ime Udoka, you're right though. He has stressed in his preseason interviews that he's going to emphasize playmaking more for Jason Tatum. If you guys saw my futures bet that I placed the other day, I have Jason Tatum for that's one of my MVP future bets. I have Trae Young for MVP. I have Jason Tatum for MVP. Might add another candidate, but I took them as long shots. Jason Tatum this year will solidify himself as a top 12, top 10 player in the NBA. I firmly believe that, and that's actually a conservative prediction for me.
We're in concordance on that. We're on concordance with that. I think he's going to be. About that? I think that's a great take. I agree. I think he low-key a MVP dark horse like you mentioned. And again, I think they went and got the right coach. They went and got the right guy. I think Ime was waiting because he's interviewed about 5 times for jobs, and he's actually turned down offers. I think he's one of those guys that handpicked his situation. And when a coach can do that, and you have a competent front office and a competent guy running stuff like Brad Stevens, I think the sky's the limit for the Boston Celtics.
And a young core that's ahead of their development curve because of the overwhelming amount of minutes they gave their younger players. Every member of the Boston Celtics that's under the age of 26 is ahead of their development curve right now.
2 All-Stars before they turn 25. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, I like the prop.
The Sixers had that. The Sixers had that.
I like the prop. Let's talk about this first game. It's a splashy one to me because you guys already know how I get, the mode that I get in, okay? The Bulls and the Pistons. Has anyone taken the Pistons on earth? Sosa. We have the Bulls -5, Pistons +5, 218.5 total. What's your assessment of the new core with the Bulls and how they're going to play at the beginning of the season? They made everybody money in the preseason. I mean, everyone's like so high on the Bulls. Of all the futures tickets that I posted, the Bulls one had the most engagement. I can tell people are locked in on the Bulls, So what's up with this game?
My expectation with the Bulls, I don't think they're going to be a very good defensive team. I think they're a team that's going to be exciting to watch. They're going to get out in transition, score a lot of points. But I won't be betting on the Bulls for like the first 3 or 4 games. Just not doing it.
I actually am. The chat, you guys are going to hate this, okay? You're going to hate this. I want to take the Pistons +5. I want to take the Pistons +5. Hey, hot take in the morning.
Hey, man, that's spicy. But I
mean, people are making their decisions on this game based on Cade not playing. Like partially. Like there's people. It's a part of their handicapping. Like Cade's out. I'm taking the Bulls. I know they have DeRozan. Man, this one seems like it's a little too easy. The reason I haven't bet on it now is because the Bulls have owned the Pistons in recent history, like even before the acquisitions. Let's move on to the next game. Nothing on the total there, I believe. But do you have an endorsement of a winner in that game? You said no Bulls games for the first 3 to 4 games. That actually makes sense with a team with that much roster turnover. Patrick Williams is also questionable tonight. He has a high ankle sprain. Let's see the lineup that the Pistons put out, though. They had 2 different lineups all last year. I want to see the lineup for the Pistons today. Let's see how it goes. Big on Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey 3-point props. He's probably going to hit that clip at a 65% rate until they start adjusting his numbers. Move on to the next game. Hornets Pacers. Yeah, drop your bets in the chat, everyone. Who you guys like, Pistons or Bulls? We want to hear it. Even if we don't necessarily have a pick, we love to hear what you guys have to say. Let's talk about the Hornets with the golden child, LaMelo Ball, against the Indiana Pacers. It's a short line. This line's actually moving in the direction of the Pacers with new head coach Rick Carlisle. Is this spread wrong?
No. I think it's purgatory land, right? Like that's the number would suggest purgatory land. It's 1.5. You're looking at a team that eliminated one team from playoff contention, right? Pacers put the Hornets out.
Yeah, this is definitely like revenge.
And they beat the shit out of them too. They smoked them. They beat the brakes off of them.
Let me make one note on that game, Sosa. The game you just talked about. Last season, amazing. NBA was good to Sosa the Locksmith. It was good to My Guy Knows a Guy. I love it. But out of the entire playoffs, my worst bet, like the one that I have nightmares about to this day, is Pacers Hornets in the play-in game because I took the Hornets. And the Pacers smoked them that day. I just can't forget how they smoked them that day. A lot of the parts that they had in that matchup are not playing today for the Pacers, though. What's your assessment of the Hornets? Just early season assessments with the Hornets.
It's LaMelo Ball's show. They believe he's Luka Doncic type. They believe he is that generational player. Shout out to Michael Jordan, though. I got to give a shout out to Michael Jordan. He's finally assembled a roster of players that fit. He got players that fit what they want to do. I think Borrego's underrated as a coach. I thought he was kind of stupid at first, but he knows what he's doing. So I'm rocking with.
What changed your mind on that with Borrego?
It was his. This is what it was. Everybody and their mother who don't know basketball is going to say, "Oh man, he should have had LaMelo starting from day one," which is stupid. That's not right. You're wrong. LaMelo had to learn how to be a pro in the NBA. He came in the NBA not wanting to play defense, lazy as shit on defense, didn't want to play no defense. Watch it. Watch him when he wasn't starting at the beginning of the year and during he didn't want to play defense. He didn't want to commit to himself on defense. He also was too free with the ball, turning it over like hotcakes. It's cool. We want you to play freely, but we want you to control that. Beginning of the year, he worked through that, and obviously Rozier and Gordon Hayward and Deontay Graham being hurt accelerated him starting, right? But it put him in position to be successful. A lot of coaches look stupid when they don't give the player the keys to the car, but Borrego swung me on that. Borrego knew the right time to really unleash him, and
that saved his job. Let's call it what it is.
Borrego.
You think he was safe before he inserted LaMelo Ball in the lineup? It was looking kind of crazy in Charlotte in January.
I think he was still safe though, because they have gone through so many coaches, and the last thing you want is, especially when your new star player is a point guard, it's like drafting a quarterback. You don't want him going through a bunch of coaches. That's not the wave. That's not what you want. If you want this guy to develop, you put him in a system, you surround him with players that fit that system, and then if it fails, then it's the coach. Because he's got a slasher like Miles. You got really good players around him, dog. Hayward, PJ Washington, Kai Jones was a great steal in the draft. And Kai Jones is exactly what they needed. A rim running big. They also went and got Mason Plumlee. Bro, this team is very, very well built. Will LaMelo make that jump? Will he make that jump?
It's about player development now.
That's all it's about now, because they got the talent. They even getting Book Night in the draft. He's there. Like, if he develops into something, you can get rid of. Hey, I mean, they have so many really, really good players. It's on the coach now. It's on the coach. It's on the coach to put them in position to win, and they have to.
I think Mason Plumlee was a sneaky acquisition for the Hornets. I just believe that the veteran presence that he provides, rebounding, cleaning the glass. Mason Plumlee is the type of role player that hasn't he hasn't received his flowers in the NBA because of obviously situations. He's taking contracts on underperforming teams. He's been that type of guy. But do you agree that LaMelo Ball will have he'll have a pretty dramatic impact on Mason Plumlee's stats if that connection happens, right? If he plays a substantial. I'm looking at his rebounds prop. Mason Plumlee, 8.5.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it correlates. It's almost like Lonzo Ball with Vucevic tonight. On days where you take Lonzo Ball's assist props, it might be opportune to take rebounding props for Vucevic, just because he's going to have that high connection.
It's at like 12.5 or 11.5 though. It's at a very high number tonight. It's set at a high number
for Vucevic.
For Vucevic.
I think there's value on Plumlee early in the season until people realize that they're really going to give him those minutes. Like he's going to play the most minutes of his career this season, Mason Plumlee.
Yeah, I mean, bro, listen. All they needed was a rim running big. The thing is, though, is that
knows his role.
I do have a slight bit of pushback to that because Kai Jones could be
He's young.
He could if they because again that's the thing. Are they going to accelerate his development, or are they just going to give him like 15 minutes a game? If they accelerate his development to go with LaMelo, Mason's minutes they're gonna take, and they added Kelly Oubre. Bro, this team is talent wise they're loaded. They're loaded. Young.
I feel like only injuries can stop them from development on their curve. Terry Rozier, we can just get off this game, but Terry Rozier, this is a huge year for Terry Rozier. He in his mind,
they just gave him an extension.
Yeah, it's a huge. That's why in his mind, it's a huge year for him to live up to it. At the same time, he's talking like he's an all-star in his mind. He's an all-star. He sees that open spot Kyrie's about to free up.
I give a secret. I give a real quick secret to NBA bettors that a lot of people don't know this.
Yeah.
Over the last 3 seasons, Terry Rozier has been top 5 in 3-point shooting percentage in catch and shoot opportunities. Probably not something you would associate with. Probably not something you would associate with Terry Rozier, but that's a metric that a lot of people don't know. Terry Rozier might be a volume scorer in people's eyes, but catch and shoot threes, he's top 5 in the NBA over the last 3 seasons. Do with that information what you will.
Gem. They also added Oubre too, according to John. Cam says he feels differently about the Hornets. He feels much differently, so maybe he's down on the Hornets. Maybe some people just want them to prove it, but a lot of people are also just down on Gordon Hayward in general. So I also understand that is an element into this. It's a huge year for Gordon Hayward. He could be a trade piece for other teams. It's possible, Let's see how things go with the.
Like I said, it's on the coach. This team is extremely young. I'm aware of that. They're extremely young, but again, it comes down to the coach because they got all the talent. We've seen young, talented teams struggle. We've seen talented.
Let's get off this game. John said, "Stop this." Yeah. I'm just talking shit. He's probably talking to someone in the chat. He said, "Stop this."
I don't know what Alvin is talking about.
Look, this is a major revenge game for the Hornets tonight. They've been thinking about how the Pacers did them in the play-in game since that time. The Pacers' defense is absolutely terrible. In my opinion, their defense is horrible. Okay, I've watched Pacers games. I watch an abnormal amount of Pacers games. They did nothing to address their structural issues on defense. I'm not a big Miles Turner guy, but this is a 50-50 game. It's a coin toss. No play for me on this game. I lean towards the Pacers with the +1 though, but no play for me. Sosa, open up some thoughts with Jason Tatum and this huge Knicks Celtics game tonight. Just while I find my laptop charger, my laptop's about to die.
Okay, yeah, I'm just personally, I'm high on the Celtics. Obviously, I'm a big believer now in Jason Tatum. I was never a huge Jason Tatum fan, but with this coach, I do like Jason Tatum. I do. I like Jason Tatum to become that, ascending superstar. My expectation of the Knicks is that the Knicks play hard. They're going to play tough, and it's going to be, the same that you get from any team coached by, what's my man's name? Tom. So, it's just going to be, don't go against my boys tonight. John, I'm sorry, bro. I'm not personally betting the game. I already told y'all the prop I'm betting tonight. It is Jason Tatum's assist over 4.5. That's the only play I've got in that particular matchup. I mean, is Julius Randle going to have the same usage rate, or are other guys going to make open shots and other people be able to handle the ball and let him be more of a scorer? And I don't know, man. I don't know if I like I don't know. It's going to be, like I said, I don't know what to expect from this. You don't know what to expect from a team that had no expectations last year, and then they have monumental ones the next year. It's like the Washington football team in the NFL last year. I have to throw that out there. It's like we thought they were going to be fucking amazing entering this season, and they've looked like ass.
Or at least the playoff team.
Because there's expectations on them now.
Changes everything.
So it changes everything. Nope, they're not sideswiping anybody. They're not showing up, and anybody's going to be surprised. Everyone's the same. They're going to employ the same thing. And it's going to be, can Thibodeau do it again? I don't know. Very difficult when you start putting expectations on a young team. That's all. But I'm not going against it. I do think the line is low, 2 points. Whoever wins the game is going to win the game by more than 2 points. So that's the only sentiment I have for that.
I missed the first part. I'm going to catch it again. I'm sure you were talking about Tatum. In this game, I'm high on the Celtics. Not in this game. Said that wrong. This season, I'm very, very high on the Celtics. I want to see how they come out with the new coach, with their system. I want to see the emphasis on defense that he's going to try to integrate Ime Udoka. But we have Jaylen Brown questionable for tonight. We have Al Horford out. And I believe Marcus Smart is suspended for 1 game. Yeah, Marcus Smart is suspended just for 1 game, I believe. If the chat can correct me on that, if it's just 1 game or not. I think the Celtics win tonight. Without Al Horford. But I'm gonna wait to see if Jaylen Brown is in the lineup. If he's inserted into the lineup, this will move to a pick. I think that after about 2 weeks, you're not gonna see lines like this for the Celtics once they're fully formed and people see what they're able to do this season. They're gonna be a sneaky candidate. When these two teams play again in about a month, 2 months or whatever, the Knicks won't be favored. That is my assessment on this game. We can move on. Raptors, Wizards. My hometown Toronto Raptors against the Washington Wizards, who shipped Russell Westbrook to L.A. Man, we didn't even talk about the Lakers-Warriors game. We could probably just, for 2 seconds, man, we don't even have to. Everyone already knows.
Shout out to Nikola Bielitsa, MVP, plus 4,000, plus 40,000.
I'm about to say, is it plus 4,000? That's crazy. That's a donation.
MVP.
Bielitsa is making the Sacramento Kings look inept with every single passing day. Another inept front office. They had Bielitsa in their grasp for like 3 years. I never saw Bielitsa do anything in a Kings uniform like I saw last night, okay? Ever.
I did. I stayed up for some of them games. Bielitsa was going crazy in Sacramento.
How crazy?
Bro, he had a couple, like when he was, I mean, they didn't defend, but bro, the number one thing that I take away from that game last night is that they gave him the opportunity to handle the ball and make decisions. And they have about 6 guys who can do that. This Warrior team is extremely well built. They're high IQ players. Every single player on the team has a high basketball IQ. Straight up, the Warriors are going to be really fucking good. That's my assessment.
They're going to be really good. They have so many Moneyball players on their team. Okay, Wizards, Raptors. Raptors haven't played a home game in Scotiabank Arena in the regular season for quite some time. We know that they're going to be fans in the stands tonight. The Wizards, new roster. We're going to power through the rest of the schedule right now. The Wizards, new look roster, vets infused. Bradley Beal is questionable though. He's questionable. Also, what's Bradley Beal's vaccination status?
I'll be right back, bro. Somebody's at my door.
Yeah. Bradley Beal, we need to check his vaccination status. He's a game time decision tonight because of an injury. But in this game, I like the Raptors. I think the Raptors are going to cover this spread. But we're going to be a sneaky defensive team. It's also I look to a moment last year where the Raptors were knocking on the door to make the play-in tournament. The Wizards were the reason we didn't make the play-in tournament. There was a key game we played against them, and I'm not going to say that we're going to use that for motivation, but I think the Raptors will win. Of all the public sides today, they're the only one that I feel comfortable betting on. I'm going to try to dodge some of these public spots on this huge slate today. But the Raptors, I think it's a go. Monitor the Bradley Beal situation, especially if he doesn't play. It's almost like, what is this spread? They're discounting the Raptors for their win percentage last year. It was a 375 win percentage. So a lot of the times, the regular season win percentage of a team from the previous year is what is cooked into the early season spreads the following year. So just take that into account. A lot of these spreads are going to be proven to be like very wrong tonight. I think this could be one of those spreads. Give me the Raptors tonight. Give me the Raptors. How you feel about the opening game? New look Wizards, Sosa. New look Wizards. We're just going to power through the schedule now. We'll probably get out of here in like probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes, everyone. 10 minutes.
The game's in Toronto, right?
15 minutes. Yeah,
right?
It's in Toronto. First home game regular season for quite some time. No more Tampa Raptors.
I don't really have to say much. The game's in Toronto, right?
The game's in Toronto. Scotiabank.
I'm gonna say one more time. The game's in Toronto, right?
One of the true home edges. It's in Toronto.
The game is in Toronto. We know who to bet. That's not. It's gonna be the Raptors are gonna win at the crib, bro. I don't care what Washington did. I really don't even give a fuck who's starting for Toronto. They're not gonna lose at the crib after not playing a game in over almost 2 calendar years. Chalk that.
Yeah, Raptors. Chris Boucher. They just said he's going to play tonight. I'm expecting Chris Boucher to have a monster year, everyone. Chris Boucher, let's monitor his development this season. By the end of the season, we might have different perceptions about Chris Boucher. OG's going to have a great year. Scotty Barnes, a sneaky play I would look at. The only risk in this play that I'm about to share is the minutes with Nick Nurse and Scotty Barnes. You may want to see how many minutes he gets to play. But Scotty Barnes is, especially for a big, is an assist machine, okay? He's an assist machine. The 3.5 assists, it's plus money for Scotty Barnes. It might be in play. He averaged over 5 in the preseason, but they did throw him to the Wolves. Just want to just monitor that. We'll go to the next game. Sixers Pelicans. Me and Sosa talked about this game. I think that we're probably going to have to finalize this one. There's a lot going on in the Sixers game. Maybe nothing on the Sixers for now, until later. Yeah, you with us?
Right. Yeah, my bad. What were you saying?
Yeah, maybe nothing on the Sixers for now. There's a lot going on in that game. Let's talk about the.
Oh, we're talking about. Nah, yeah, I got nothing on the Sixers. Not right now, no.
And I think the Sixers can cover without Ben Simmons.
I do too, but you know, if they're my team, I'm not. Not to. They just. I'm staying away. I got no juice on it.
I definitely understand that sentiment. Okay, Cavs, Grizzlies. I have a play in this game. We have John Morant. We have John Morant is. It's the Grizzlies and the Cavs, man. Evan Mobley and the Cavs. Sexton, Garland. 7.5 point spread. 218.5. We're in the grindhouse tonight. I like the Cavs plus 7.5. This is not going to be a popular play. I like the Cavs plus 7.5. I think their rebounding edge is formidable. I think that, I'm high on Jaren Jackson. The loss of Valanciunas will be felt at the beginning of the season when it comes to the rebounding edge. The rebounding is one of the only things that the Cavs will do well this season. I think that if the development curve of Garland and Sexton improves year over year, that they could even win this game outright tonight. They're a pretty good team at the beginning of the season. They were last year before injuries completely decimated the Cavaliers. Give me the Cavs plus 7.5 tonight. Give me the Cavs plus 7.5. Any thoughts on this game? Or?
It's a stay away from me. I'm not opposed to anything as you said. It's just a lot of moving parts for both teams. You got a young player in John Morant trying to assert himself as that guy. The organization obviously put a lot of trust in him. They believe that he's the guy. But again, it's a lot of moving parts on both teams for me. Little bit of discourse in the Cavs team. There's we've heard rumors of them trying to maybe shop Sexton. They've had they're obviously terrible. I feel like they aren't trying to win. So I don't know if that approach starts this week or today but I just it's just a stay away from me. It's too many moving parts to put anything on early in the season. That's just my That's my assessment
Yeah,
of this game.
observational mode.
Yeah,
Understand.
it's gotta
And we also want
just
to
gotta
remind everyone as well, like you don't have to go crazy at the beginning of the season. This is NBA betting
don't.
today, but it's an 82 game season. The smartest are in observational mode at the beginning of the season. I have plays, Sosa has plays, but just know that after about a week, you know, we're gonna hit the ground running once there's a sample size where we can actually analyze these teams properly. We're going off spreads and stats from last season, a lot of moving parts. I like the Cavs today. I'm not comfortable laying 8 with Memphis. This is one of the more suspicious spreads of the day to me. I'm gonna take the Cavs, take a risk on that tonight. Let's move on. We'll get out of here. It's almost a lunch hour. A lot of stuff going on today. We'll just power through the rest of the schedule. Quick picks, and we'll get out of here. It's NBA betting today. One reminder. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, especially if you're watching on Twitter. Head over to YouTube, subscribe to the SportX Insights channel. Follow Sosa the Locksmith on Twitter. Follow My Guy Knows a Guy on Twitter, where we talk sports betting all the time. And check out the SportX project. Visit sportx.bet. Let's go to the next game, the T-Wolves and the Rockets. It's the T-Wolves minus 6.5, total 230. Any plays in this game?
Karl Anthony Towns 3-pointers over 2.5. That's my favorite play in the game. It is plus money, so like around plus 120.
Okay.
Best 3-point shooting big man I've ever seen as far as an actual 5. I know people love Dirk, but he shoots like a 40% clip for his career, and he didn't have a jump shot. He didn't have a 3-point shot coming into the league. I expect big things from him. I think he's the most the player that I want to see assert himself. The talent's there, the production's there, but the winning is not there. I really believe that Karl Anthony Towns is a superstar. He is the epitome of an actual superstar. The numbers are great. The numbers are insane for his first 5 seasons in the league. But he's got to start winning. It's got to impact.
It has to equate to win shares, bro.
That's what the difference is. And bro, the kid's amazing. Hey, I'm cheering for him. I'm a huge Karl Anthony Towns fan. Shout out to Jersey. I rock with him. I think that the over 2.5 threes is easy. But again, he's been through what, six coaches already. I do like Chris Finch though. I think Chris Finch is a guy who's going to be in Minnesota for a cool minute. I think they hit a home run hiring him. And I think that that's gonna pay dividends for the organization. I love Anthony Edwards. He embodies
Jaylen Brown will play, Sosa. Just want to share that with everyone in the chat. It's breaking 2 minutes ago. Jaylen Brown will play. Everything good? Yeah, just checking on you, bro. Everything good? No, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's life.
No, it's all good, man.
Jaylen Brown will play today for the Celtics, everyone. I'm going to monitor how this line moves now. I'm tempted to take the Celtics +2. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, so you heard his assessment on Karl Anthony Towns. It has to start equating to wins. I'm big on Towns. I actually think Towns is one of the highest value trade acquisition targets this season. I know Sosa probably wants it to work out in with the T-Wolves, but I think that he may be traded this season. That's probably a wild prediction. Someone's gonna swoop in for Cat momentarily.
Not leaving. Watch. He gonna be just like KG. The organization will do everything and anything to retain him. It's not the same. He's not leaving. He's not going nowhere. The organization is too invested in him, his family, just in general. Karl's not going nowhere.
The world is on the T-Wolves. They're high on the T-Wolves. Not Karl Anthony Towns. Anthony Edwards. If he's not a household name by now, like, come on. Anthony Edwards is, if he was in the East, he'd be threatening for an all-star position this year. No play on the spread in this game for me. It's 6.5. Slight lean towards the Rockets, just because of the value of the T-Wolves sort of being in the dumpster and them laying 6.5 at the early onset of the season. I know that the Rockets were horrible. They were in tank mode. But I think that they will edge within some of the spreads in the early onset of the season. I'm high on Christian Wood. They do have a couple of vets on the roster. They have Daniel Tice. They have Eric Gordon. We're going to see what Jalen. But I want to say one name. I want everyone to watch this name. We'll see how long it takes for them to give him minutes. Alperen Şengün. Alfred Şengün, he's going to have a good season. He's going to be well known. It's a big man that was drafted at the 16th overall pick out of Turkey. He's really good. Let's move on to the next game. The Spurs and the Magic might be the worst matchup on paper of the day. Anything on this game just before we move on? Magic Spurs. Anything?
Magic Spurs. I have one player that I'm going to be keeping an eye on all season from the Magic, and it's not who you think. Everyone probably thinks it's the rookie. It's Chuma Okeke. I think Chuma Okeke. I'm very high on him. I think
Chuma Okeke is out today.
Not obviously.
Yeah, but just for the season,
Just for the season.
So, me and Sosa were talking about Chuma Okeke in the clubhouse days, everyone. This guy is a steal machine. When he gets into the lineup, just monitor his health first, though. Once he starts to look healthy, steal machine. Sneaky gem prop.
He came in the league.
Chuma Okeke over 1.5 steals all year.
All year. Kid's really, 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 really fucking good.
He's not playing tonight, but I don't think the Spurs can give anyone 6.5 as currently constructed. I like the Magic plus 6.5 in this game. Let's see how it goes tonight. They don't have James Ennis. Surprisingly, James Ennis is not on the roster right now. Someone's going to pick him up. He can still play defense. He's actually begging the Lakers to sign him right now. If you go check social media, it's pretty funny. I like the Magic plus 6.5. Let's see how it goes. I like the Cavs a bit more, though. I like the Cavs a bit more. Out of those two pretty bad teams, I like the Cavs a bit more. Let's move on. More odds. We're going to power out of here. 3 more games, and then we're out of here, everyone. Utah Jazz, OKC Thunder. Jazz minus 13. There's a game last season that I just can't forget where they were like favored by 15. It was minus 15. They almost lost that game to the Thunder. I remember Lou Dort had his career high. Shout out to Lou Dort, man. Had 42 points, dropped 42 on the Jazz last year. What's going on with the Jazz? Do they still have the Clippers in their minds, the nightmare of the Clippers in their minds? How are the Jazz going to come out? We know that they're a regular season team. I'm hard on the Jazz. How are the Jazz coming out?
They're going to beat the shit out of them. That's what's going to happen. They're going to beat the shit out of Oklahoma City. That's my assessment. That's the assessment.
Minus 13?
The way they went out, yes. The game's in Utah, right?
The game is in Utah. Yes. The total's 221.
Utah will cover. It's as simple as that. They covered 92% of their games at the crib last year. Didn't matter what the spread was.
I'll definitely be watching this game.
You hear that number? 92%. Come on, bro. They cover at the crib. That's just what they do.
The Jazz made me so much money in the month of February. It wasn't even funny. Like, the month of February was crazy. It was historic in the NBA. Actually, it was crazy. No play for me in this game. Observational mode. I want to see the lineup the Thunder put out in particular. There's a bit of intrigue around the Thunder right now in terms of lineups. They do have a lot of players, a lot of young players. Let's just see how they develop their guys. The Jazz should take these guys out tonight. Let's see how it goes. Moving on to the Kings and the Blazers. We've already discussed the Damian Lillard news. It looks like it's had a positive impact on the point spread. It's gone from 5 to 6. Maybe it's just people realizing that the Kings are playing basketball today. Another team that I'm really tough on. But they did draft Davion Mitchell. How do you feel about the Blazers and the Kings today?
CJ's points. Put your money on him.
CJ?
CJ McCollum, his points.
Okay. What's the number?
I believe it should be around 24.5, I would think. Let me get the number from one of my books. It is points. 24.5, yep. Minus 106. That's the play for me. CJ. I don't care who. People are going to say Davion Mitchell's a defensive guru, and that's all good and well, but his coach is still Luke Walton, so I don't really care how good he plays defense. Luke Walton's still the coach.
Yeah, I actually like Norman Powell's points in this matchup. I think the Luke Walton's still the coach, and what does that mean, Sosa? It means that they're going to be the Kings once again will be one of the worst defenses in the NBA. It's going to take a while for Davion Mitchell to impact that individually. He's going to have good moments as a defender individually, but he's just one guy. I think a lot of these player props for the Blazers players are going to go over today. They've rallied around each other. No endorsement on the point spread for me. It is a little low for my liking. It's a bit suspicious. Shay says he likes the Kings money line. He might have some insight there. I'm going to have to watch this game. I like Norman Powell's over 18.5 points. You heard Sosa the Locksmith. CJ McCollum over 24.5 points. Let's move on to the Suns and the Nuggets. It is definitely the most attractive matchup on paper of all these games today, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are kind of waiting for this Knicks-Celtics game as well, but I'm going to be locked into the Suns-Nuggets game. The Suns printed money for us. The sweep on the Nuggets, the money machines. I love it. I love it. What's your take on this game before we get out of here, Sosa? And we'll just drop a couple plays and get the hell out of here.
In regards to this one, I like the under. I like the under. I think that's my play. Hold on, let me pull up my notes somewhere. Where's the play at?
Yeah, I can talk about this game for a second if you want me to.
The play for me is the Nuggets with the points. 6.5. Give me the Nuggets with the points. This line is inflated based on bullshit from last year. Everyone's healthy except Jamal Murray. I think that this game's a close game all night. It's not one of those. 6.5 is disrespectful. It's not purgatory land like 5.5. It's 6.5. 6.5 is disrespectful. That's just how I feel.
It's a huge revenge game for the Nuggets. I mean, Jokic, they've been thinking about that ever since Jokic got ejected with the Cameron Payne situation. I think the Suns just match up really, really well with the Nuggets. This is a game where I think it's best to observe because the Nuggets, this game means so much to them today. But the backcourt is still inferior without Jamal Murray. I think Chris Paul and them are going to try to alleviate the bad taste out of their mouth from the finals. I think I lean towards the Suns again until the Nuggets prove to me that matchup-wise they can stand up to these guys. I'm not feeling the Nuggets in this matchup, but I am high on the Nuggets for the season. I'm just pulling up some DeAndre Ayton props, so we're going to get out of here. Have you looked at Ayton stuff yet? Yeah, Ayton.
He gonna have his hands full with Jokic at the top of the key all night. I'm not touching his props.
I like the 14.5 points for Ayton just because of the anger of his contract situation. DeAndre
That's fair.
Ayton, yeah, 14.5. So yeah, it's NBA betting today. We went through the entire schedule. We encourage everyone to watch it on replay. I'm going to share something on the screen for our contest, and we're going to get out of here. There is a tweet I tweeted on the NBA betting today Twitter account. It doesn't mean anything. It only means something to people who are here. So if you go and retweet this, you'll be entered in the contest. It says, if you know, you know. Go to NBA betting today on Twitter. Everyone that's watching, if you retweet this, you will be entered in the contest. Okay?
Also, be sure. Go ahead.
What you got? So
be sure to be following NBA betting today. My Guy Knows a Guy. Daily Bread Media is my media outlet for my YouTube. And also, if you want to get in the Diamond Club, hit me up.
100%.
You dig?
Hey, let's leave them with a couple of things that we talked about during the show. What's a play that you feel very highly of?
Jason Tatum over 4.5 assists.
Who's your top winner for today?
Karl Anthony Towns over 2.5 threes. I'm going plus money. Listen, that's for me with the props. I've always been that way. I'm value hunting when it comes to props. I'm not betting a lot of props that are minus 110 because that's just a little too much tax on the human element. There's a little too much tax for me, so I try to do plus money because plus money is way more profitable when you're doing props. End of the day, that's how it goes.
What's your top side for today? Or not your what's something you've already bet, or what do you like?
Both of those, I bet both of those. Those are my, like I said, those are really my two favorite plays. Another one I like is Lonzo Ball over 6.5 assists. Those are three. The props I'm heavy on. Picking a winner in games that we don't have a lot of background on lineups, it's tough. It's not the way for me personally. It's very difficult to do that beginning of the year. You gotta pick your spots and look at the numbers that are gonna be profitable as far as props go, and as far as like what you have a sample of that you can project.
100%. Okay, so you heard the props. For me, I like the Cavs plus 7.5 today. I'm going. I already bet that one. I'm going to take the Raptors. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to. Just looking at this Bradley Beal situation. And I like DeAndre Ayton over 14.5 points. Probably put a little bit less on that prop. I think he's going to come out angry about the contract situation. You guys, thank you so much for the reception. That's the contest entry right there. If you know, you know. Go retweet that, and your Twitter handle will be randomly entered into the random draw for our contest. And I think that's just a better way to do it. NBA betting today. You guys enjoy your day. We're gonna get out of here. Social will be on Daily Bread later. We're gonna pop off some
Daily
spaces
Bread this
too.
evening. We got some. Got some more NBA stuff. More NBA plays. Obviously, gonna get in the think tank, do a little bit more. The plays I shared in here are all plays that I've already bet. So, like I said, if you guys want to look back and replay, I'm going to have plenty more plays for this. These are high volume days. Tune into Daily Bread. I'm going to have some other ones. Like I said, this is how we go. You know, we make money across the board, and yeah, it's all about analysis and content. And we appreciate y'all for joining us.
100%. You guys, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and we're out. It's NBA betting today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll pick out some contest winners. Make sure you guys are rocking with us 11 a.m. See you guys tomorrow morning. Enjoy the games.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.